newsy day out there with talking to the skill position guys and the Cole Kmet extension. Where are we starting today?
Yeah, you know what? We'll get to Cole Kmet and his big extension that he did receive from the Bears today. But I want to start with Chase Claypool because he has just been a point of contention for lots of Bears fans because of the poor year that he had last year, 14 catches for 140 yards. Then he misses a big portion of the OTAs and the minicamp. Then he's put on the PUP list, taken off of the PUP list. So it's been this emotional roller coaster for him, and people have been coming after Chase Claypool, some of it justified. But I asked Chase Claypool, what about all of that pressure that is on you right now from the outside?
Chase, just because the expectations are so high for you, and you were just dropped in here last year, as you said, trying to learn the offense. When you went on the PUP list, it seemed like a lot of people were rattled by that. Did you sense that?
Yeah, I kind of have to be told by my family what's going on in the Twitterverse. I guess I get it. Maybe people weren't happy with how I dealt with the offseason, but that's only the perception that was given to them, and not the reality that's true. I remember almost blowing my knee out against the Packers and being done for the game, and kind of pleading to be put back in, put a knee brace back on, and went back in and try to help my team win. So if there's any questions on how much I'm willing to do to help this team win, there shouldn't be, And I think that I'm doing everything I can to be as healthy as possible, and no one in the game ever wants to get injured.
He's entering contract year, entering full year with the Bears. What's your internal motivation like?
I mean, this is, it's the biggest year of my life, and I understand that. And if anyone thinks my work ethic isn't matching that, they're deeply mistaken. This is, I get motivated and it just keeps building on top of each other. My work ethic grows from the last year. It'll grow after this year. I learn from things. I'm always growing, just like everyone in the world should be. They should always grow and learn from their mistakes. The goal is the same at the end of the day. It's to win football games. And my contract year aside, I want to win football games. So,
man, that's good stuff. That's him directly taking on with the questions, the attack of him as not being self-motivated, as well as the offseason. Sounded confident and calm.
Well, he also he echoed, not like that he's echoing what I said, but the idea of it that we ran in a promo. It's a bigger, the Bears need Claypool, but Claypool needs a bigger year than the Bears need Claypool to have a big year.
Biggest year of his life, he said.
He said it's the biggest year of his life because his arrow has been consistently down.
Yeah. 9
receiving touchdowns his rookie year, then a bad second year, then traded in year 3. Now here you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nothing guaranteed beyond this year. So yeah, the Bears would be nice, but they've got DJ Moore, they've got Mooney, they've got Kmet, they have other options. So it's nice to hear him just acknowledge the truth.
Yeah, and there's few things more damning for a player to have there be whispers and people saying out loud, questioning your work ethic. I mean, in any sport, that's rough because that's the kind of stuff that doesn't get you paid. So, and to your point too, we're going to hear from Cole Kmet here in just a second. Chase Claypool was somebody that the Bears were considering drafting in that same year as Cole Kmet, and you kind of have two opposite careers going because Kmet had Claypool had 2 pretty good years in Pittsburgh, 800-plus yards, not good enough to stay there. And then he's been on a decline since, whereas Cole Kmet started very slowly in that first year with Jimmy Graham, and now he's been on the crescendo. And I give some credit to my guy Chris Emma, who's actually going to be writing about that. We were discussing that out at Haugh Hall. But it's interesting to think about those two guys.
Yeah, it is because Cole Kmet, as you say, just today, goes from what would have been a $3 million salary to a $13 million salary with 20 guaranteed.
Right.
And same exact draft class.
Exactly.
That's a good point.
And one probably would have predicted when these two Notre Damers came out that it would have been Claypool, especially considering his rookie year, that it would have been Claypool who on this day would be getting paid by somebody, whether it was Pittsburgh or the Bears. Another Claypool cut I want to play for you guys is his relationship with Justin Fields and the expectations for this season.
Chase, in the spring, Justin mentioned that he felt an attitude change from you for the better. How would you describe what changed for you from the end of last year to what he was describing?
Yeah, I think once I started getting more comfortable in the system and around the guys, and I was able to be myself a little more. I wasn't so stressed. I was getting more sleep. I was able to help guys around me be the leader that, I want to be. So I think it was just, that's kind of played hand in hand with each other.
Now
told
that
us
you're
about
comfortable in the playbook and you've gone through all of this and had a full offseason with Justin, on the field, where do you want to grow in this offense? What kind of receiver do you want to be for this team?
It's just a big-time playmaker. I think that's easy to say, but being a playmaker in different parts of the field, boundary, field, slot, doing different things, because I think that makes it easier to not only call plays, but for Justin to be able to actually execute the plays, knowing that it doesn't matter where certain guys are, they're going to make a play.
Again, that's pretty honest. Wasn't sleeping, was in a bad mood, was stressed with the change. To me, that's like a pretty likable, transparent answer from Chase Claypool there.
And we did hear that last year with Grote as well. We did hear that last year from Chase. It just hasn't translated.
Yeah, and I'm still skeptical that it will.
Me too.
Because he's an incredible athletic talent who hasn't been a consistent producer.
But it literally has no chance if he doesn't actually give a crap.
Yeah,
so that's what we're listening for.
He's saying the right things on day one.
Yeah, and I think I would expect that he means them. And if it's even if it's completely selfish and personal, like, hey, if you're motivated about the money and getting the big bag like Cole, fine, because that usually correlates to your team being better, especially in the NFL, if you're just being selfish.
There hasn't been like a very specific, concrete why he needed to be on the PUP list for 24 hours, right?
No, and it was
no one's willing to reveal that for some reason.
Well, he was wearing a sleeve on his right leg today, and the knee has come up. A reporter asked him, "Is it the knee?" And he said, "Oh no, it's not that." And then he just, "No, it's not that." He doesn't have to say what it is.
Right.
Some suspect that it was the knee, but nobody is required to at this point tell us that there's no injury reports, no requirements to tell us about the injuries. So no, we were not able to get that out of him. And just going back to what Matt Eberflus had said, he had said that it was a soft tissue issue, but I don't know. He did have the sleeve on his leg, so you could probably infer.
If anybody missed it earlier, we played a little piece of tape from Flus. The offense looked good, huh? We played a piece of tape. He said that everything looked crisp, not a lot of false starts or anything like that. Everybody aligning okay, timing was good, everything like that.
Well, and as a matter of fact, I gotta keep mixing up the two guys. Chase Claypool caught a touchdown out of the slot from Justin Fields, and one of the things that they clearly were making a point of doing offensively was spreading the ball around. I mean, it wasn't like OTAs where it seemed like it was very focused on DJ Moore. It was everybody was getting a little piece of the action and catching footballs, which is obviously good, because eventually when we get down to it, DJ Moore is going to be heavily focused on Darnell Mooney too, because we're going to be monitoring him throughout this thing, because they said they're going to have him work with the training staff and take it slow. We saw that. We saw him for part of the time just doing individual drills with the trainers, but then he got into the action as well and caught a couple of passes, so it was good to see these guys actually in action.
What did you think was interesting from Kmet?
Kmet, and again, he gets his 4-year, $50 million extension, $32.8 million guaranteed. I'll start with, because you think about him, and I don't think that he's hit his ceiling yet. I don't think you could call him a star, but he was talking about how from his rookie year up until now, things have certainly gotten better for him.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been up and down, just as most, I think, NFL careers are. And I'm still early in mine. I'm still a young guy, and I got a long way to go, and I'm excited about that for sure. So, but yeah, when you look back at kind of the stuff I was doing my rookie year, I look like an idiot out there at times, But, it's cool to see the progression and kind of where things are going, and I've seen the improvement every year, and I'm looking to continue to take those steps this coming year and the years beyond.
Yeah, he needs to live up to the contract, but the contract was fair based on
I think so too.
The timing of it. And, man, he plays every game. That's a huge thing. and it's really hard for tight ends to produce earlier in their career anywhere, and then to produce early in your career when you have bad quarterback play, virtually impossible.
Right, and last year, 50 catches, 544 yards, 7 TDs. The year before, he had 0 touchdowns, and we know that. And then his rookie year obviously was weird because it was Jimmy Graham, and remember all of us begging Matt Nagy to use Cole Kmet.
Absolutely. Don't you remember our guy, by the way, Trent Dilfer last year? As he watched tape every single week, he fell in love with Cole Kmet.
Kmet, who's, by the way, excellent football player. He's one of your better football players on the entire team. His ability, and it's because he's an inline. There's very few inline dominant blockers that also can run professional routes and make professional catches. And he can do all of it. He's a really good player. Now, he's never going to get the glamour that Kelsey gets or Kittle gets because he doesn't have that natural athleticism, but he's so complete. He's like a poor man's Gronk. There's very few Gronks anymore that are long, physical. They're basically glorified offensive tackles that can run professional routes and catch professional balls, and you have one there. So he's very good.
Thought that was an excellent breakdown of Cole Kmet's value.
Really good, too. And another thing that Cole Kmet pointed out today is that when he first came into the NFL, he didn't say he didn't know what he was doing with blocking, but he was given a lot more blocking assignments than he had at Notre Dame. And not only did he learn that, he's become a pretty good blocker at the NFL level. And that's part of what Ryan Poles absolutely loves about this guy. And that was pretty clear to him. The other thing I found really interesting today about Cole Kmet, that it was brought up, and it was such a good point, that he has impressed 2 different regimes. Obviously drafted by Ryan Pace and given the bundle by Ryan Poles. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, well, that's pretty cool when you get 2 sets of, you call it regimes, coming, one that obviously believes in me enough to draft me, and then a new one that comes in that believes in me enough to give me an extension. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a good feeling, and yeah, I mean, just kind of attest to, all the work that I've put in and just what I've been doing the past 3 years.
It's the first contract extension of Ryan Poles' time here.
Yeah, it is.
Of an existing player.
I mean, I think of consequence. I mean, Equinemius St. Brown did get a contract extension, but last year. But I know. Your point is taken, Speaks. This is the first real big money extension given to a Bear on Poles.
Could have done it with Roquan, did not.
Right.
Could still do it with Jalen Johnson, conceivably.
Yeah, or Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney.
That would be another option.
Let's go to Mooney then. Let's go right to him because I asked him that question, and here's Mooney.
The guy in your draft class, Cole Kmet, gets an extension today. Is that something you think about?
Yeah, I mean, we all in the NFL love that. Love how we want to get extended. I mean, I love Cole. Cole's my guy. Everybody thinks I love playing with Justin. I mean, I do. But Cole, I love playing with Cole. I talked to him after the game, before the game, in the huddle. I just love Cole.
Why?
I mean, we have some of the similar things with, you would say, agency-wise, financial agents. We're like the same guy. He loves getting on boats. I love getting on boats. And, I mean, we're just kind of like the same guy. I mean, you wouldn't think so. He's this big, massive guy, and I'm this small guy or whatever. But no, yeah, I love Cole for sure.
The Bears, when we'd asked about you and the contract extension
a
while ago, it essentially said we want to make sure he gets healthy and all of that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're at that point now where you can show them that you're healthy enough that they want to make an investment in you, that it would be a wise thing?
I mean, I've always told myself and wanted to be that guy that I'm not a risk. I'm that guy you can count on, and you don't have to worry about me doing my job. So if that's something that they want to do, that's something I want to do. But I mean, I'm a professional in football. I don't really do contracts, so that's what I got an agent for. So.
That was adorable at the beginning. I felt like I wanted to watch a buddy movie, like a road trip movie with Cole Kmet and Darnell Mooney.
You know what I really like that they like to do together? One of them they both like to get on boats.
Right.
It doesn't mean that they like to be on boats necessarily for long times.
It's the act of getting on the boat.
It's the act of getting on.
Can you imagine the sick boat that Cole Kmet can now buy for the 2 of them?
You could buy a great boat.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
but even with $20 million coming to you in a year, you still probably just want want to have a friend with a boat.
Yeah.
Exactly. You don't need your own boat.
Especially if you don't really want to spend time on it, you just want to get on it.
Well, he can afford to buy a boat handler. Are there boat handlers? He could buy a boat assistant, and then he and Darnell can get on the boat in Lake Michigan and hang out on the boat.
Well, I don't know if they want to do that. They just want to get on, then they want to get off, and that's just what they like to do.
That's all they do.
You get off. You get off, you can get on again right away.
That's right.
Head it up.
Do we have time to hear from the Floos?
We do.
No.
The Floos is loose.
Yeah, the Floos. He was getting in on the action. I was talking about the Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus. Like, I don't think that there is a player in the building that these guys like more than Cole Kmet, and I think it's because he checks all the boxes like nobody else in terms of the hits principle and all the things that we've been talking about. And remember, Ryan Poles last year singled him out when we were asking about blue chip players, like, oh, Cole Kmet, man. But Matt Eberflus talking about the fact that he's a hometown kid, and philosophically, Ryan Poles made it clear that they like that. They like guys that are from Chicago when possible.
I think it is inspirational. You get homegrown players. That means you drafted the right guy, you developed the right guy, and he is the right guy. And he's experienced. His experiences with the club and his experiences, in football are really good, and you want to keep them. And you'd like to do that as much as you can.
All right.
That's it from the Floos today.
Yeah,
that's it. That's it from Matt Eberflus. Although he did tell us today that today's indoor practice, like you were saying, Speegs, was very clean today. He also said that it was more like an OTA practice, and it did have that feel where you didn't really have, like, the defense wasn't playing. There was no contact whatsoever. It was easy going. So that said, tomorrow maybe is the first real practice when they actually get outdoors. So we're really yeah. So we're easing our easing our way into this. That is what we're doing.
Forgot about
yeah. That's so last year, man. But it's still
it's so Floos. It's funny.
Yeah.
He'll say it again.
Yeah. Good to see you guys. Let's see what else here.
Can you paint me the picture of the Justin Fields DJ Moore play that I've seen on Twitter, the touchdown?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Spare no details.
We have the video of it, Danny.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but I want to hear Grote talk to me about it.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I mean, I've watched it every commercial break,
but
I want it
for
the audience.
Just glistening,
Theater of the
lofting
mind.
football flying into the hands of DJ Moore, and it was good to see that too, because I was like, man, they're really spreading this ball around, and it ended up that DJ Moore finally caught a touchdown. So I hope that lives up to it.
All right, what Bears Nuggets do we have?
Nuggets we have. I think I've gone through a lot of them, but the one that I left here, Eddie Jackson, one of the top vote getters for the team's leadership council. A follow-up to that was, who else is on the leadership council? And then Eberflus was like, well, there's 17 other guys on the leader. You really want me to name all the guys? And instead he just said 9 offensive players and 8 defensive players.
That's a big leadership
That's a
council.
big leadership. I think it'll get dwindled down eventually.
Yeah, these guys get cut.
But yeah, there might be some leaders. Was Sterling Weatherford on that? I think he might have been.
So it's 17 guys, and this is the thing where they meet once a week, right? And they can, like, bring the messaging back to the locker room. That's the thought process behind it.
Exactly, and it's that was Joe Madden did the same thing. So this is typical of a lot of different locker rooms in different sports. Robert Tonyan was lining up on the outside today, some with Cole Kmet inside. So it was pretty cool to see that, like the mismatches that could potentially happen with those two guys.
Yeah, because they could do that with either of them, and line them both up. So that's really interesting. I wonder how much 2 tight end personnel we're going to see.
Yeah, I think that's something that they're showing a little bit of early on, but we shall see.
Did you see your guy Tevin? Did you talk to Tevin
No,
at
I've
all?
not talked to Tevin yet.
Oh,
yeah, we've
man.
been kept away from each other so far.
That ain't right.
Yeah, we'll see when he gets, because there's no open locker room right now, so we are at the behest of the Bears, to whom they are going to bring.
If you
to
saw
us.
his girlfriend, would you give her a hug?
Of course. No, I wouldn't actually. I would tell Tevin to give her.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I would tell him to pass
I get
it on.
confused.
So that's it today. So I guess we could say first full Bears practice outside should be tomorrow.
Dude, you're buzzing. You are flying high. The energy is big.
I'm feeling it.
You know what I got to say to you is Bears.
Bears.
Bears.